At Comcast Spotlight, we're in the business of scaled audience. So yes, we absolutely deliver premium content, but really what a client or an advertiser is coming to us for is to reach their customer. That is a very different approach to how television has been historically either bought and planned, right? So from where we sit, especially in the data side, at Comcast Spotlight, in a very privacy compliant way, we're able to say, yes, you want to reach adults 25 to 54, but let's make it a little bit more interesting. Do you want to reach a person who's actually in the market for a crossover? Awesome. On the back end, once we make recommendations on how to reach the person or the household who's in the market for a crossover vehicle, and again, we're getting into the business of making recommendations on how to reach them and how to target them, we then want to say, let's prove that it worked. Right? Did they actually go to your website? Did we put people in your lot, right? And so for us to be able to say, we believe that there are better ways outside of the traditional age demo daypart network proxies to reaching a customer. We can use data now to help find them across a scalable network mix, and then on the back end, demonstrate with partners whether it worked or not.
So what is attribution? What does it look like? What do you deliver and what is expected?
So attribution is the traditional funnel, of course, right? So television has inherently been known for working really well in the upper funnel. In fact, it's sort of been like a check the box, and television's very good at reaching lots of people in a short, finite window of time. In fact, we'd be hard pressed to find another medium who can deliver as many customers or audience in a window of time like television. So for branding, did you see my ad? Did you like my ad? Did you remember my ad? Done. I think for television now, it's absolutely crucial that we start proving our value as we go down that funnel. So it's not just good enough to say we got people to see your ad. We want to demonstrate and actually show our value in getting people to consider, and consider as an action, so going to a website potentially, and then moving down that funnel and getting into the world of actual action, transaction, sales, right? Visiting a store location, doing much more than just browsing. And so right now, what we've been able to do at Comcast Spotlight in a very short period of time is stand up a measurement team who's actively working to prove that TV worked beyond just the upper funnel. So for us, attribution is, did the person who saw your ad take an action? And can we measure that? We know you're going to measure it. You absolutely should. It's your responsibility. But we believe at Comcast that our responsibility is to say, we're going to make recommendations on how to reach your audience, that we should prove on the back end that it did indeed get optimal lift.
So how do you do that, and how fast does it turn around? Is it real time, and you work with vendors to help you do that? Sort of how do you what's the turnaround in the process a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So early days. We're still early days here. We have partnered with a company called TVSquared. I will say, just to sort of set the stage, at Comcast, we are very specific in our approach as to how it is that we validate our vendors, how we think about what are we trying to answer for our clients, and it's a very rigorous process. So I always say God bless our vendors, because they have to go on this journey with us. We start first with the proof of concept, we then go into pilot, and then from there we scale. We're in north of 60 markets. So for us, we've got thousands of sellers and thousands upon thousands of clients. So for us, we want to make sure that the solution that we're building for can answer core questions and scale appropriately. So for us, this journey started a little over a year ago, and we did a proof of concept with TVSquared. And what we wanted to do was answer for, did television drive traffic to your website? That's it. Right? So for us, our ability to find a vendor where we could really feel comfortable with the methodology, right? That's first and foremost. So we can go in with confidence and say, we feel like this methodology validates our assumptions. Two, can the company itself actually scale with us, right? Because we're large, we're Comcast, and we have a responsibility, of course, to make sure that what we're doing can provide answers for not just one or two clients, but for those who are willing to invest with us. And the turnaround, like, can it be quick, right? It's like long gone are the days where it's like, let's just wait for your flight to be over and optimize from there. Do you want to double down? So what we've been able to do with TVSquared is, after we tag a client's site, and they get the option of 2 KPIs or 2 pages based on their campaign objectives, within 30 days, we can actually log in. So sales, so Comcast can log in, but also our clients can log in to the same dashboard and see if there was any lift to performance after exposure to an ad. For us, it wasn't just good enough to say, was there a lift to your website over a long period of time? We wanted to see if there was immediate action. So what TVSquared was able to do, and this was very specific in our desire, was that it would not be a cookie cutter approach, but that they worked with us to find the right solution. And so for us, the right solution was within a 30-minute window of time after exposure to an ad was an action taken. And we also want to be very clear that since this is not necessarily causation, but correlation, that we were doing it in a way that was giving the right credit to television, but not all of the credit to television. So within 30 days after a campaign airing, a client can go into a live dashboard, our sales team can as well, and they can see, what did the lift look like? Did the visitor who visited the first time, did they come again? And what pages were they drawn to? And for us, it's a more consultative conversation with the client, because we can say, we saw a baseline, from your baseline, we saw a lift of 3%. We think we can do better. Do you think we can do better? And then the data refreshes every week after that.
And Andrea, could you tell us about the inventory that you sort of judge this attribution? It is local. It's linear. Is it on demand? What's the range of it right now, and where might it go?
Yeah, right. So right now we're with linear specifically. We're going to be moving to VOD, VOD, along with anything that's sort of IP. This is the first stage, and again, when we think about our partners, how do we iterate? How do we get better? We can't have everything from day one, and we know that, so we set expectations accordingly and we build from there. We absolutely know that we have to get beyond the core linear product, because we want to essentially be platform agnostic. Just as we are now network agnostic when it comes to reaching customers and making our recommendations, just like we are now daypart agnostic, right? We don't want to confine what's possible to a time period of 8 to midnight. We know that your customer is watching all day, every day. We know this because of the data that we are privy to. But for us, it's really important for us to just really think about making not only our offering work for the client, but also giving them the insights that they need to help plan and buy us better.